All right, Weather Weenies. Today's day 3 of Twisters Week. This is the day where you can go to the theater and see Twisters. Myself and a bunch of Weather Weenies, we're going. And of course, we have a severe weather threat in New England on the same day. So let's dive into what you need to know about. I typically try to do these in the morning, but I didn't today because I knew this was going to migrate and change. This is that slight risk area. That's a 2 out of 5 risk zone. That yellow, the dark green, is like a 1 out of 5. Storms we had yesterday, comparable-ish to what we had yesterday, possible again today. But this is the newest edition. There has been no tornado boxes, and they're nowhere on this map. We're the lucky ones here in the Northeast once again. There is a 2% tornado box that covers eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, some parts of Long Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts. And that's obviously a bit of a guess as to where we have our concerns. There was a tornado warning in Massachusetts yesterday that was outside of that 2% area, but still well within the area where severe weather was possible. Now, my weather weenies know, right? I tell you this to be weather aware and not scared. I want you to plan your day. I want you to know the difference between a watch, which means it may happen, and a warning, which means it is happening. So when you're casually going about your day and all of a sudden the sky looks a little funky or that wind picks up, you know what to do. High wind storms are the name of the game, not a real high hail risk. That's too many H's. Also, the tornado risk is non-zero. It's 2%, so you just need to be aware of it. But once again, just like yesterday, we're worried about high winds and any storms that form. Timing of it this evening, of course. I'm sure it's going to be passing right through central New Hampshire at about 7 p.m. Let's go to the forecast reflectivity. Here we are at the HRRR forecast model. So just take a look generically at what happens here. Storms start to build lots of little isolated cells everywhere, just everywhere. Keep in mind, though, the areas where those risk zones are the ones that we're most concerned about. So you can see how everything progresses, and you see how those yellows and oranges really go away as evening and overnight hours come into play here. So what we're really concerned about is just kind of this early evening time frame. So this is 5 p.m. and with the widespread isolated nature of this isn't going to be like, oh, hey, there will be a tiny storm crossing the New York-Connecticut border right there at 5 o'clock. That's going to, no, it's not going to have that level of accuracy. I just want you guys to be aware, generically speaking. So this is like 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm telling you, for us weather weenies that are going to see Twisters, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11, 12. By midnight, things are subsiding and we're losing the severity, but we're still seeing some widespread rain, and then things move out. Forecast discussion for New Hampshire and Maine out of the Gray Maine office has a great line. Today should be the last of the scorchers for a while. So while the storm, this like cold front's rolling in and is going to be the thing that finally brings us some relief, which may take a hot minute to get, but we'll get there. The consequences, we have thunderstorms. So this afternoon, increasing shower and strong to severe storm coverage, some containing gusting to damaging winds, and all in the potential for very heavy downpours. This meteorologist, I like this one. An approaching cold front this afternoon will be the first step to replacing this air mass, but it won't happen without consequence. Storms developing along the Vermont, New Hampshire, and the Maine-Quebec border early this afternoon. Talking about multi-cell clusters that are moving from the southwest. With wind damage fresh in our minds from storms Tuesday, this will again be a threat this afternoon. And in this very humid and warm environment, some storms will contain torrential rainfall. Repetitive storms hitting the same area will lead to a flash flood threat. Gray Maine's highest concerns are from southwest New Hampshire through the Kennebec Valley of Maine. They're slightly more concerned about flash flood guidance for the Maine locations, particularly ones that have been wet over the past week, but southern New Hampshire also received up to 1.5 inches yesterday evening with some passing storms. Now we're going to switch over to the Boston office's forecast discussion. They've got this great little summary page. I like this. This makes it easy to understand. This is good. Their discussion says expecting another round of showers and storms, possibility for severe weather. Storms will likely fire along a developing prefrontal trough with upper draft helicity fields, machine learning, blah, 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 okay? Highlighting areas north and west of the I-95 corridor for the best chance of severe weather. Talking about storm clusters, line segments, damaging wind being the primary threat. Also localized flash flood threat. Why can't I say that word today? Given the high precipitable water. Timing looking like storms move into western Mass, Connecticut 4 to 6 p.m., then move eastward this evening, but activity should weaken as they approach Rhode Island and southeast Mass, given the more stable marine layer in place. And in case you need me to remind you, watch versus warning. Taco watch, taco warning. Vermont's discussion talks about similar things. Another hot day. Showers and thunderstorms are going to develop. Some showers may contain heavy rain, gusty winds, though the threat for severe weather today is lower than yesterday. That's going to be music to your ears. Now, while I know we all don't like the severe weather threat, you have to watch what this does to our dew point temperatures. So here we are in the soup now, and you'll be able to watch the cold front come through. Look at that. Look how absolutely glorious that is. And you want to know what's amazing? As dew points will creep back up into the 60s in some places, we've got almost a week of relief. It's still summertime in New England. It's still going to be warm, but it's going to be not quite as warm, and that humidity is going to be just ticked down a whole bunch from the lower dew points. It's going to start to feel a lot better. So that's the story for today, Wednesday, July 17th. I got a movie to go get ready for.